Hello, guys, and welcome back to Flow State. And we've just realized it is big episode 40, the big 40 today. Like, officially, I don't even know what kind of landmark 40 is, but I feel like it's a pretty big one. 4/5 of the way to 50, I suppose. But again, that's pretty good in my book, and I think we've done very well to make it this far. You guys have done very well to make it this far. So as always, we hope everyone is doing well. And more importantly, Adam, we've literally just kind of sat down, turned on record, and back from swimming today. How's things, mate? How you feeling today?
Yes, mate. Happy 40th. Are we allowed to say that?
Of course we are.
Happy 40th, mate. Just back in the door from swimming. Good session. Tough session. We did some sprints this morning, so it was eyeballs out for a while, but feel pretty energized afterwards, but I might need a sleep in the afternoon and a big feed after this, but no, it was good, mate. Great way to start the day. I didn't have a brilliant sleep last night, so when I was getting up, my alarm went off like I'll tell you what actually happened.
I love diving straight into a story.
I had a sore toe.
Okay.
If you're ever in the pool, there's like lane ropes that separate the lanes, and they're made of this really hard plastic material. Anyone that swims not very well will understand this, because I'm sure good swimmers probably never touch these lane ropes. Well, listen, I'm sure they do. But the other day, I was swimming along, kicking like mad, and kicked one of those plastic lane ropes, and man, it is, I'm not going to say the word, it's aching. And it kind of kept me up last night a little bit, you know, one of those like throbbing pains that wakes you out of your sleep, like a toothache. Yeah. So I didn't sleep the best last night, and then I just woke, you know, when you wake like 30 minutes before your alarm and you're like, is there really any point in going back to sleep? So I got up, had a coffee, did a few bits and pieces, and then went to the swimming pool. So might need a bit of a nap in the afternoon following those sprints and following the sleep. But it was a good set today, good fun as always, and a great way to start the Friday morning. How are you?
I'm very well. I was going to say, are you caffeinating before you're swimming at the moment, or are you just raw dogging that? Always, yeah.
Always. I think it's just a placebo as well, because like, are you really getting the caffeine if you take it? I probably drink the coffee about 40 minutes before I'm in the pool. So yeah, you might get a little bit.
I'd say you're getting
it.
Maybe about an hour after having it. I reckon you're probably at your peak.
Mate, I am just not leaving the house without a coffee.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
And then the thing is it feeds into this as well, because I don't have time when I come through the door to make a coffee. I've made a little peppermint tea here just to settle my stomach. But always a coffee and a banana. And sometimes maybe a little cheeky bit of chocolate.
Okay. We're just talking dark chocolate, just to take the edge off?
Nah, just like nothing
dairy
fancy.
milk?
Maybe just what did I have this morning? Like we still have some celebrations left over from Christmas, so I had a couple of celebrations.
Rank your top 3 celebrations in order, please.
That's a good question, mate. We're straight into the meat of it today, aren't we?
Meat and potatoes.
Maltesers for sure. Meat and potatoes, that's the word. Yeah. Maltesers for sure. Top
number 1. It's got to be number 1.
Always.
It's got to be number 1.
Anyone that tells you a bounty is number 1 needs took out the back. Like, I'm gonna say probably a Galaxy Caramel, number 2.
Okay.
And then a Snickers. I might actually have a Snickers in number 2.
I need to know. But
the thing is, I prefer a Snickers bar over Snickers sweet, because it's kind of like you need that. Snickers bars like a meal, mate. It's class.
They're heavy.
Yeah, but it's great when you're hungry. Isn't that the slogan? Gets to the hunger quick or something. But my brother-in-law Shane, he is a fan of Quality Street. Like, he claims the Quality Street are the best sweets. And maybe he's showing his age.
Ooh,
they even look old, mate. The rappers on Quality Street look like they're from the 90s. Oh, the purple one is unbelievable. Is that Quality Street?
I think the green and the purple are like elite. And I think Australian listeners will know what celebrations are. I'm pretty sure they have them here. Maybe not Quality Street, but it's the same thing. But instead of
chocolate in Australia just isn't that great or something.
I haven't had, being vegan, I haven't had enough to comment, so I'm not gonna land myself in hot water.
we used to be obsessed when we lived in Australia with the Dairy Milk Crunchy though. The combo. They do it here now as well, but when we were there, I remember one night going out and we were coming home in a taxi and we just polished off a full bar because it was like we were ravenous. But that was a top tier chocolate.
Okay, I found like
it's a good running podcast, isn't it?
I found like a tier list of quality street. This is saying God tier is red, high tier is orange and purple, mid tier is the green, pink, and there's 2 greens apparently. And
to be fair, quality street kind of are good actually. Now I think about it,
I think
because those ones, the strawberry cream and the orange cream are unbelievable.
Orange cream is wild. That is wild. I love orange chocolate.
Yeah,
so
me
good.
too. Me too. Kira introduced me to orange, Terry's chocolate orange, when we started going out together.
Bro, dude.
I never looked back.
That's like,
because like when you're growing up, you're like, why would I ever eat a Terry's chocolate orange? And then as soon as I ate it with tea or with coffee, it is unbelievable.
I used to always. I know
chocolate is my thing, by the way. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if you know this. I don't know if the listener knows this.
I'm getting vibes here,
but like crisps aren't really my thing.
Nah,
sweets. Oh well, to be fair, I do like sweets, like jellies or lollies, as you call them down under.
Percy Pigs kind of guy.
Yeah, but the Lidl version. I've told you this before, haven't I?
Oh, you have? Yeah, no kidding. We probably guys. You'll have
they're
to
so
go.
much better.
Really good plug. Go listen to like episodes of 1 through 5. I'm pretty sure we spoke about Percy Pigs.
We did. We spoke about it. They are so much better than Henry Hippos, I think you call them.
Yeah, it's Henry Hippos. But we've got
Shares and Henry Hippos.
They've started stocking Percy Pigs here, and it's like we're smashing them. And the fizzy pigtails,
mate,
bro, they are naughty.
Do you have Marks and Spencers in?
Nah. I don't know who they're shipping them to. I think it's like Coles or Woolworths or something. One of them.
And they're actual like the Marks and Spencers ones.
They are Marks and Spencers branded, and they are wild. Yep.
Yeah, mate, they are so good.
If I'm feeling a little bit sluggish and I know I've got to get on the bike for a minute, a couple of fizzy pigtails, I'm off.
It's my excuse to eat sweets. Is like I'm a runner and I like to train a lot, so I just eat sweets. Mate, there was one night I jogged to training. Yeah. There was one night I jogged to football training, left the house and felt a bit flat. So I just called at the shop and bought a bag of jellies and just polished them off on my way to training.
Yeah.
Or fizzy fish. I don't know if you've had the fizzy fish. The Maynards. They're the same crew that make the wine gums.
Yep.
Like the OG wine gums. They make fizzy fish and they are unbelievable. So that is like your fizzy sweet, and then the Henry Hippos from Lidl are your not so fizzy sweet.
Your basic. Yeah. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Bloody hell, I love sweets as well sometimes.
Kira has just popped into the office here to grab a charger for work.
Special guest appearance. Cameo.
She's gone again.
Oh.
She's gone. She actually opened the door and like snuck in at the side and grabbed the charger out of the wall.
What's good is we're absolutely not editing that out. So
no.
Yeah, what's up, Kira?
No.
All right.
Doesn't have a hurt on her. Maybe she'd come onto the screen.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. We do like a 3 screen. It'd be brilliant.
Yes, how are you, mate?
I was saying we should talk to her as well. She swims. We can have a chat. Yeah, doing good, man. I was just saying off air how life as a parent of 2 sometimes gets the better of you, and you go from being. I had a really good session. I did. Friday has now become my my VO2 max day, where I do some kind of interval sessions. I just had a great time on the bike. Felt really good, and had a good afternoon. And then my 2.5-year-old becomes Godzilla. Is the nice way of putting it. I'd say if I'm being a little bit less diplomatic, he's kind of like a. I'm not sure if our podcast is going to get taken down, but he's kind of like a terrorist in that he's violent. You can't negotiate with him, and his English is very limited. So it's just a bad time.
That's us cancelled, man.
That's it, and that's it. We are done. We are flagged. But no,
40 done.
Yeah, I was quite glad to just kind of sit down and actually have a conversation, because
it's a bit of a meltdown. Then
it's a bit of a meltdown. It was proper tough. But yeah,
that's the realities, isn't it?
Doing well, and more importantly, got my bike. Like, news flash.
Oh, yes.
Adam already knows about this. I think I sent you a message last week, but I
did.
I went down last Saturday and met the guy and had a look at the bike, and turns out it was like you're always a bit, for anyone that's bought off Marketplace. Again, this wasn't specifically Marketplace; it was a Facebook group, it was a buy sell group. So you have to kind of have a bit of a reputation. I feel like it was a bit safer. But anytime you're meeting up with a random person with a fair bit of cash on your person, you're always a little bit apprehensive. And I drove into the city to meet him. Turns out it's the nicest guy you will ever meet, ever.
Yeah.
Like he's bike mechanic, so he's looked after this thing. He knows what he's doing, and we were having a chat. His missus was in the car, and there's us just having a chat in a car park for about 20 minutes about bikes and cycling. And yeah, I took her home with me. She's had a couple of trips around the block. I ended up having to, so I basically bought the bike first, but had nothing else. So then it was a case of, okay, let's buy a helmet, let's buy some new shoes, some new cleats, because I need white shoes, obviously, because the black ones I have just won't cut it on the road. You have to look a bit special. I didn't even have a pump, so the thing doesn't even have the tires ain't ready to go. But a couple of bits arrived, and I'm borrowing a pair of shoes off Scott, who's been on the podcast previously, and I took it around the block, and it's surprising. I haven't ridden SBD SL clip-ins because they're different to what I've got on my trainer. My trainer's basically got mountain bike pedals because that's what the previous owner had on them. So I have now road pedals and road shoes, and the clipping in process is a little bit tougher. I'm not used to it, but as soon as I kind of got it, I didn't fall off at all. Went around the block a couple of times. I was like, I've got it. I was like, it's been probably a decade since I've ridden a bike properly on the road.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just back.
Yeah,
instantly.
muscle memory. Those clip-in pedals as well, they do, like, they break in a bit. They kind of need to actually wear in a little bit before they're really good, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, in the are you using the metal or the plastic?
It's plastic.
Yeah, so whenever they just need to wear in a little bit, and then they're a bit more seamless. Whereas at the start, they're like clunky, and you're trying to like,
they're all stiff. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, mate, there's so many different options for, like, do you know the foot position on the bike and how much rotation is in your foot?
Yeah.
Are you going to get a bike fit?
They're very expensive, and funny you mentioned that. Tomorrow I'm going down to see one of my colleagues' dad, who is also my client, is a pretty good cyclist. He's, bless his heart, he's in his 70s, he's in his early 70s, and I've just, for whatever reason, I've just adopted him as my Australian dad. And we've been going to it, like, seriously chatting about this for months and months and getting really close. And he was like, look, man, now you've got your bike. I want to come up to you and I'm going to help you kind of get sorted on the bike. I'll give you a list of stuff you need to get. We'll have a look. We'll get it set up for you. I was like, look, you've done me such a solid. Like, I'm going to come to you. I'll drive down to you. I'll take the bike with me and we'll do it. So tomorrow he's going to get me on his trainer. I'm going to bring my bike and we're going to do like a bit of an amateur bike fit, because
mate, that'll probably be every bit as good, if not better, than
I reckon
a Melbourne boutique bike fit, because someone that knows what they're really doing and kind of knows, do you know, yes, there's a science to it, but there's also a craft to it. And someone like that is probably worth their weight in absolute gold, mate, because they're not just relying on the information that a computer screen is telling them. They're probably talking to you about how you feel. And yeah, mate, I love that. That's great.
Yeah, so
class.
Properly looking forward to that, and hopefully while I'm there, I'll pump up the tyres, and Sunday morning I might see if I can get out for a few Ks. Like, maybe not. I'll see what the weather's doing. I'm actually not sure. But this is good.
When you say you've been out a couple of times for a few Ks, like, how many are we talking?
Haven't yet.
Oh.
Nah, sorry, I've just been around the blog, and that'll be the plan. I'm
not like itching to get out.
I am quite badly, but I'm like, I don't have a route or anything, so I could probably go around my local area. If I really wanted to, I could probably do like maybe 20, 30 Ks comfortably. I know this route. I feel pretty confident and safe. I know where I'm going, because I don't even have a computer yet, so I don't even have a map on my a map in front of me. But I think my plan will be maybe not
good old
this
out and
weekend.
back, mate.
Yeah, could do. but even then, like I'm quite isolated in the town I'm in. So I think it'd be pretty easy to get turned around. Not that I couldn't find my way, but just end up in somewhere I don't want to be. So my plan is to go out with. So his name's Brad. I'm sure he won't mind me name dropping, but I'm gonna go out with Brad and his group. They do group rides weekend mornings, so might not be this weekend, but hopefully next weekend or the weekend after. And then I'm also doing my best to find other groups like a little bit closer to me, just to get on some longer rides. I'm itching for those 100Ks, man. Like I've done 60. The most I've done on Zwift is 60, and again, that's probably my limit. It gets a bit tedious after that. Whereas I wanna get a good 100 under my belt and start making that a bit of a thing.
Class. You mentioned about going and meeting the guy and feeling a bit, oh, is this legit? There's something kind of like, there's a buzz to that, I think.
Mm.
Kind of like going and meeting someone and not knowing if what you're going to buy is like going to be up to your expectations, and then when the item or whatever it is that you're dealing with like exceeds your expectations, there's a real buzz, and then when you make the purchase, there's a buzz. It's like I like that. I kind of like buying stuff like not brand new. I've started doing a bit in vintage. And I've been selling more than buying, and mate, see the buzz you get from selling something in vintage. It's like,
bro, I use Depop. I've sold heaps of shoes on Depop, and it's the same thing, man. You're like, you don't even make heaps. I'm like, you're losing probably 50% of what you made on something that's either not been worn very much, but 100%. You get a massive kick out of
it's cool
selling things. Real nice. And that feeling as well when you make like a big purchase. Not that I didn't spend like a fortune on this thing, like I didn't have a fortune to spend, but sometimes you have a big purchase, and I was there like driving down going, is this smart? Am I doing the right thing? And then you get it, you see it, and it's just like, I can imagine like really romantic music playing in the back of my head when I first saw this thing. And it was in the back of my car on the drive home, and I kept just looking I just kept tilting the mirror, just have a look. I'm like,
yep,
you okay? You okay back there? Yeah, it's still there. You okay?
Yeah, when I think I might have said this to you before. When I used to get new football boots when I was a youngster, I used to set them by my bed.
Yep.
And then when I'd wake up, I'd be like, still there.
Still there. Still there.
Just don't do it with running shoes.
No. I've come close, to be honest. I have come close. My pair of it's bloody ironic, the fact that the last pair of running shoes I bought were the Adios Pro 4s that were in this one specific color, and they stocked them in one shop in the whole of Australia. And I drove like an hour to get them, and I wore them for one race, and then I got injured, and I'll probably end up selling them on Depop. But that was the most in love I've ever been with a pair of running shoes.
Is that your favorite? That's what I was going to ask. Is that your favorite ever pair of running shoes?
I think it probably is, just because of how they looked, and I think it was just the aura about them, like, because I had to travel and they were so hard to get, and I was like, I'm not going to get this pair of shoes, and I was like, they've got them, I'm going to get them. And then
I remember you telling me about that.
Obviously, that being running the half marathon PB, which was and probably will always forever be now my favorite ever run I've done, that Run Melbourne half. Like, that there probably will be my favorite ever pair of running shoes. As much as like I wore the On Cloud Eclipse. I had Absolute Death, and I really love the Alpha Fly 3s I've had. Like, I think this pair was, I was like, oh man, I got a bond with this, and I've only ever worn them once, but that's just how it goes, mate.
Yeah, happy memories in those.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, so we should talk about some actual training, mate, because I was thinking about this today.
I was going to mention something before we spoke about training. Have you seen the inverted commas, the news?
Which news?
I'm probably going to say something you don't expect me to say.
Have I seen the news, as in like the news that comes on at 6 o'clock every day?
No, I've put it in inverted commas because I'm kind of going to. It's not really news, but it's kind of news. I posted about it on social media last night, and we've had I don't know what's happened. I actually wasn't aware of this until Monday when a client of mine.
Yes, I read it. I read it. What you posted, the story. Yeah.
Thanks for reading it, mate. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. I always read what you post. Even though you make a post next that says you probably didn't read this, I'm like, nah, I read it.
That's so people just go back and read it.
I know. It's very good. Very good.
But anyways, on Monday, a client of mine had messaged me to ask should they be worried about their risk of injury in the lead up to London Marathon, because her social media feed is filled with influencers or running influencers, runfluencers, whatever they're called, who are currently experiencing bone stress injuries and like stress fractures. So apparently there are like maybe 3 or 4 running influencers that currently have a stress fracture, which is mental when you think about it. I don't know. It's like,
have we got names?
Miri someone is one. I know she's kind of like the biggest one that they're all talking about. But essentially what's happened is like they've really catastrophized these bone stress injuries. Like they're the worst thing in the world and their life is over, which is mental. But listen, that's for clicks, that's for likes, that's for exposure, that's for attention, that's to make money. It's a vicious cycle. And then we have what I've seen over the last few days is then other running people or fitness people making videos off the back of it. And those videos are also going viral because they're giving their 2 cents on it, you know, or they're making comment on it, or they're like slating the influencer or whatever's happening. I don't really know. I haven't seen much of it, to be honest, but lots of people messaged me in response to that story last night to say like, to be honest, it's actually the most interaction on a story I've ever had. I was kind of overwhelmed with how many messages were coming in about it, and people were whatever, but kind of mad how the power that some of these people have to influence people and to whatever. And like this girl that had messaged me, she's quite an experienced marathon runner. Like she's targeting close to 3 hours in the marathon. She hasn't been running that long, but she's been running with me for, I've been coaching her for a few years now. So she hasn't been running her whole life is what I'm trying to say. But she's been healthy. She's never really had any issues whatsoever. And she's worried that, or was worried that like she may be exposed or maybe at risk of injury because of what she's consuming on her phone. And she's aware of that as well. You know, she did say like, I am aware that like I'm kind of seeing what's on my phone and whatnot. But I just think it's mental. Like I don't know what you think about that, but it is absolutely mental. And I'm not surprised that some of these running influencers have got bone stress injuries. We know that can happen to anyone in this sport. It is a high impact sport and whatever else.
What exactly, just to like double click on that, what exactly are you, just so I'm aware, like you're obviously saying it's mental. Are you saying it's mental that like people are just suddenly now going, oh, well, I've consumed something and now I'm worried I'm at risk? Is that kind of...
Well, I suppose 2 things. One, sorry, I wasn't clear about that. I just kind of said it and didn't say what I'm actually really talking about. 2 things, I guess. One is like I watched her video to announce that she had a stress fracture, which was like, mate, you would have thought like her mom just died. It was like, mate, I just think that's over the top.
What's her name? I'll do some digging.
Is it Miri McCarthy? I don't want to throw anyone under the bus either here, but no, it was just for me. Bro, I watched it and I was like,
I put the name in. The first thing that comes up on Google is stress fracture. Not even runner. It says stress fracture. Jesus.
It's like you've got a stress fracture. Like life's not over, do you know? And she was like, the doctor has told me it's 6 weeks. And you're like, are you for real? Like, is this the world we live in where we make videos to catastrophize something that leaves us unable to run for 6 weeks? And you're like, there are bigger problems in the world. There are things that could happen that are just, and I'm just, mate, I'm kind of baffled by it because I'm kind of saddened by society in many ways. I'm getting grumpier and grumpier in my age. And
I did see you were feeling it a little bit, and I was like, man, he needs a chat.
Oh man, I need to go off somewhere with nothing but a book and
I think so.
No,
need the digital detox.
I don't know. So that's one, like, is the kind of the issue around the catastrophization, if that's a word,
Yeah.
of a stress fracture. Like, oh my God. And then the second thing is how lots and lots and lots of people like are just making comment on it, and it's kind of just, it's something that has grabbed the attention of so many people, and how easily, I don't know, it's yeah, I'm kind of frustrated.
I think it does. Yeah, for sure it does. I think at the end of the day,
Sorry to interrupt. The second point, sorry, I've just remembered that I kind of wanted to make on it was that the influencers are the people that we're kind of talking about, because I do believe I don't know who they are, I just know the one, but there's apparently 3 or 4 or even 5 that are currently experiencing bone stress injuries. And I think they leave themselves wide open to bone stress injuries because of what they do. They do crazy stuff in training and influence people to copy that crazy stuff. And that crazy stuff is huge bouts of intensity, huge bouts of training load before their body is anywhere near ready for it, and crazy challenges as well that are simply there to grab attention and to gain following and to gain likes and to essentially make an income, so it's a vicious cycle.
I think that's exactly it, man. Like, at the end of the day, these people are, and like, again, this isn't even shade. It's like, man, these people, that's how they make their money, and it's by doing crazy things, and they run the risk. And I'm sure most of them probably are aware that the risk that comes with, but like you said, because they're doing everything they do is to try and grab the attention. It's like, well, when they get injury, that's the opportunity to grab attention again, because they've got a massive following. So like, it doesn't even surprise me that they're going to go, yep, sweet, got a stress injury, got a stress fracture, I need to like dramatize this because it will get more views. And especially if you're out for 6 weeks and you're not going to be running, you might as well milk it, because you need all the content you can get, because you're not going to get any more running content for 6 weeks. So I reckon they're trying to play off of that. Like, again,
yeah, they're trying to cash in, of course.
Yeah.
I think some of the behavior though is grossly irresponsible, because I believe that training is like, it's like a drug. And what I mean by that is that a legal drug, by the way, it can be hugely beneficial and can really help. And similarly, it can do some serious damage if ill prescribed. And I do think that running influencers they have the most power out of anyone in the fitness space online. They have the biggest following. Like, athletes don't have as big following, because athletes typically don't really do socials. Yes, more and more are doing it now, but typically it's the running influencers, because they've figured it out. They understand that people relate to people, and I'm putting it in inverted commas, authenticity, and everything else. And you don't really get that from athletes as much, because they can't offer as much insight. They're busy with training, and they kind of keep themselves to themselves very often. But I think they have to be aware of the power that they have and be responsible, more responsible with that power. I guess that's what I'm saying, because I'm kind of talking from an N of one, because I had an athlete come to me that's like, everything's been great. They've made really good progress, really healthy, yet she's worried and thinks she should be doing like lots of other things to prevent bone stress injuries, because she's consumed some content from some influencers, and she has absolutely no reason to be worried. And I'm sure there are thousands and thousands and thousands of others, and I did have lots of people that messaged last night to kind of say a similar. So yeah, I just think maybe I'm taking it a bit thicker than I should, but I do just think they should be more aware of the kind of the responsibility and the power that they have, and the potential for causing harm through like inappropriate training. And apparently AI coaching apps like Runna have taken a huge hit off the back of this. Someone had messaged me to say that in response to that story last night, which I wasn't aware of. But yeah, I guess with social media, I try to do a little bit of posting and tried not to consume is kind of my posting and sending messages to people who would maybe ask me a question or send me a message. I try not to be on the feed too much and scrolling. So, and to be honest, running influencers aren't in my feed, which is I hopefully want to keep it that way. Mostly, I do follow a couple who I like, but yeah, it's just an interesting one, I thought.
Yeah, like look, at the end of the day, I completely agree. I think it's in a perfect world, running influencers would be more conscious about what they're putting out to people. But at the end of the day, like a fisherman's going to sell fish, and a running influencer who's making money off of it is going to do whatever they have to do to keep making money off of it. Like I've followed a couple of running influencers because I find it entertaining, to be honest with you. And although I'm kind of my algorithm gives me less of that because that's less of what I've been doing. I'm aware it's still out there, but I think the only thing you can control, if I was to be talking to a listener right now, is just being skeptical and being as aware as possible over what you consume. So like what angle they coming from with whatever it is. Like to some extent it's pretty obvious. Like if you've got I used to follow, maybe I still do follow him, a guy called Hugo Fry, running influencer, would do like ridiculous.
I actually spoke to him at the finish line of London Marathon this year.
Yeah. Like honestly has done he's an incredible runner, like really, really talented, but did some like crazy challenges over, I think it was last summer, because he's a Chelsea fan. And so he ran between the different Club World Cup locations. Like we're talking like 60 miles a day for days on end, right? And that's entertaining, but and it's pretty obvious that we shouldn't be doing this kind of thing because that's going to get you injured. And I'm pretty sure he did get some stress fractures or something from it. But then for other people, it's like it might not be so obvious. Like this Mary McCarthy or whatever, like at the end of the day, she is getting paid for people to comment, to view her stuff. So you have to go from the angle of, okay, well, she's probably doing as much as possible because that's what people want to see. People want to see other people push the limits because most people aren't going to push the limits. So we might as well watch someone else do it. And that's why
and I suppose that's my
kind
of gripe with almost society as a whole. Do you know, we obviously not everyone, but we're just consumers and we like to just view the lives of others. And I get that's what social media kind of is, and we're all on there and whatever. It just, mate. I would love to hear Julian Spence on the Inside Running podcasts.
Mate,
on this.
Bro, there'd be some F words.
I would absolutely love to hear it because
just gotta fucking stay off your phone, mate. Just fucking forget about it. Just go do something else. That's all it would be for like an hour.
But I can imagine his sadness at the state of the running world.
Yep.
I really could. And I'm all for more, like, I love the fact that running has exploded and like everyone's running now. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm all for it. Like, because when I started, running was kind of like, you're a bit weird if you run long distances. Now it's just like, it's great. But the landscape has just completely flipped on its head from what it was. And I don't necessarily want it to be what it was again because life changes and life happens and I'm happy to roll with change. But I just think these people could be more responsible because they do have an incredible amount of power. And what I'm also kind of sad about is how brands choose to support these people.
It's true, yeah.
Over athletes. So like there have been athletes that have lost sponsorships over the last number of years where they have to then fork out of their own pockets to get to races and to stay in hotels and to travel and so on and get training camp. Whereas these influencers are getting paid by the top brands. And again, the brands are just concerned about selling their products. Of course they are. But I think that's really sad because, like, for me, sport is about the athletes first and foremost. And Yeah, I think that's incredibly sad. How
Mm,
that's been happening. Basically influencers have been taking the sponsorships and the brand deals away from real athletes competing at the top level. And I'm talking about the top level. I'm not talking about like, sub elite or like athletes within our local towns. I'm talking about athletes that are competing at the Olympics, in the marathon, in the 10,000 meters, and so on. They have lost sponsorships, and many of them are working full time
mm-hmm,
to, like, I think of Kevin Seaward, for example, an Irish athlete. He's a full time vice principal in a school in England,
mm,
and he's an Olympian, uh, and like doesn't have a shoe contract.
mm-hmm.
Well, last time I checked, he didn't. He used to be sponsored by Adidas, and I'm pretty sure he no longer is. And like, he's working class, um, yet he is competing at the at the elite level of his sport, and doesn't have a sponsorship. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just find that really sad as well.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
this is probably not what the people want to hear, because the people want the influencer shit. But I just think yeah, it's true.
I think it's probably going to be divided. I think there's going to be a lot of like regular listeners that, to be honest, are probably on our side and want truths and want, like, okay, I'm actually here for what is quality content, maybe a little bit of banter peppered in on the side. But I think, yeah, it's very possible that a lot of people are just are not going to gel with this. Like, at the end of the day, we I think there's nothing wrong with consuming a bit of the influencer stuff every now and then. Like, I think that's fine from a place of entertainment. But
Absolutely,
again, it,
absolutely.
it just comes
I do
down to
too.
like consume it responsibly, like with drugs, isn't it? It's like if you're having caffeine, for instance, if we're going to keep it PG, right? You don't be an absolute peanut and go kind of have an IV drip full of espresso. You got to
Yeah.
have one in. You have one in the morning. Wait, maybe one like after lunch, and that's it. Don't be having
That's a
that stuff
really good
before
way to
bed.
put it, mate. That's
Yeah.
a really good way to put it. Consume it responsibly. I like that. I like that.
Hey, kind of on a similar tangent, it did get me thinking. So the other couple of weeks ago, in fact, for Christmas, I got a little gift voucher. It's still in front of me, actually, for Booktopia, which is like a book company. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy a couple of books. And one of them was, I knew Steve Magness put out another book recently. Um,
Love his stuff, by the way.
he's fantastic. He's brilliant, and we'll sing his praises all day long on this podcast. Like, very, very good guy to follow on Instagram if you're looking for truths. And I started reading it. I haven't got
Very
very far.
philosophical as well, isn't he?
He is, and this kind of leans into that a little bit more. It's talking about how to kind of get out of this a place of kind of like spinning your wheels and just really like learning how to thrive. So less about the physiology side of things, um more about the psychology. And one thing he was talking about that kind of ties into the whole our attraction to influences is he was like talking about why people are so unhappy as a whole, and that this might relate to general unhappiness. It might relate to training, to anything. And when you think about it, humans aren't, or how we evolved was to be in a circle of maybe 20 or 30 people, right? And those people are all you've really got to compare to. So if I think of myself, for instance, like my circle is basically a lot of my family, and then some of my close friends from back in England, and the people I work with and the people I train at the gym. And like close people, it's probably 20 or 30. And if I was to like, you can go to the level of, okay, I'm going to compare myself from a career standpoint. And again, it's kind of it doesn't really work so much. But let's say I'm relating it to my training. If I think about my inner circle, all of a sudden, I'm the best runner. I'm the best runner, and that makes me feel good. I'm probably the one of the fittest people that's ever trained in my gym, and that's fantastic. And I should be proud of that, and I am proud of what I've achieved with my running and training, obviously. But that's how it should be. But as soon as I go on my phone, I have access to every single other person who has a phone and can put content. And all of a sudden, I'm not even a good runner. I'm not a good runner. I'm probably above average, right? And it's
That's a
like
really good point.
and I feel not so great about myself anymore. And it's like, it shouldn't be like that. It just shouldn't be like that. So this, I guess, is a not even a call to action, but just kind of me encouraging people to sometimes like, since
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It
can I make a
with
quick
me.
point?
Of course you can.
Just on it, just before you do go on, sorry, is that because the first thing that sprung to mind was, if that is how that has the potential to impact us as adults, can you imagine the damage that can do to kids? Mate, it's a scary world. And
what's scary is we don't know, because we didn't grow up with this. We didn't grow up with social media. Like, we're both 31, so yeah.
So are we heading towards a society of people that feel inadequate, burnt out because they're chasing perfection, like, or worse? That's probably not even the tip of the iceberg. It's mate, this is a bloody depressing podcast,
mate. I think it's quite good.
It is good.
We're
it is good.
digging into.
I mean, this is the things.
It.
These are the things that I find myself talking about sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes we keep it light and we keep it very light. In fact, sometimes. But there are times, when like, these are the type of conversations that I do like to have sometimes.
The thing I worry about is it's not even going to be a case of always trying to chase perfection. I worry it's going to be worse, and I think it's going to be like, it's funny. The other book I bought alongside my Steve Magness one was George Orwell collection. So it was 1984 in Animal Farm.
Excellent.
And I'm literally reading 1984.
He got it all right.
He got it, because it's going to be a society of people that just resign to the fact it's never going to get better. And that is pretty depressing. Like, that is, and again, this is probably what people 100 years ago kind of thought. Maybe, I don't know. They probably thought how we're living today is terrible and it's all we know. But yeah, it's kind of a scary thought where people are just going to go, well, look, there's just more and more people every year. We're going to get more billions and billions of people, and
the thing is, we are so much more comfortable. Like, we don't have these diseases that you can catch when you leave the house. You know, like that there was 100 years ago. We mostly live in a, we can put food on the table and we have a roof over the head. We're not living in it. So I get, there's we don't have to go down that rabbit hole today, but it's a scary world. And I think it's really important to have these are the things we're not taught at school either, is like self-awareness, and like to have a skeptical mind in many ways, and just to be aware of certain things. And like, that's one of the reasons that I really like Steve Magness, to bring it back to your book. I haven't read his book, but I must grab it, is that he's really good at teaching and delivering information on principles and psychology and philosophy that relates to both sport and life. Well, listen, there's always that crossover anyway, and he delivers it in a really nice, understandable way. And he doesn't produce content for the sake of trying to grab attention. Like, his Instagram feed is just written posts.
Text, yeah, man, it's text.
Yeah, it's text. It's proper, and it's great. It's great. So you've been enjoying that book?
I've been, from what I've read, unfortunately, Life with Two Children, I get I get my time before bed to read, and because, like, for whatever reason, I'm reading 1984, and I would happily like read through quicker. But mate, I make it maybe kind of 2-3 pages, and I am out like a light. Like, it sends me right off. But I do need to like crack on with it a little bit more. Because again, I'm trying to be, since having my second kid over start of January, I've tried to really be kind of conscious with spending less time on my phone. I very heavily limit my time on social media, to the point where most days I won't take my phone off flight mode for at least an hour after waking up. And right now, like, I'm going to go to bed a little while. My phone's been on flight mode for probably half an hour so far. And you'd be amazed at how much better you do feel. Like, it's just not having your phone in your pocket for a little bit.
how much quicker you just nod off to sleep, and
yeah,
you sleep better, and it's great. Should we do a little recap of training weeks?
We've got a little bit of time. Do you want to? Should we do the
We race
highlights?
through it.
Should we do the highlights?
Yeah, cool. We'll race through. Okay. Finished last Friday. Had just come from the pool. Football got cancelled last Saturday. So last Saturday afternoon, I got out for 65 minutes at 3:55 per K. Was feeling absolutely class on this run. One of those runs, I just felt like I was flowing. It was great. Sunday morning, master swim session. So 1 hour in the pool Sunday morning. That did me for the week. Then Monday, I did a 5 mile. Oh, I know. Sorry. I did a morning run. I did 10 miles in the morning, or 16 Ks, 4:15 a K. Felt great. Tuesday morning, I did a master swim session, 6 a.m. And then I had football training in the evening. So I jogged around to football training, had the 1 hour session, jogged home. Wednesday, I had another 10 mile or 16K run, 4:30 per K. Felt pretty grim on this run. It was that one I put the story up where, I felt the opposite of runner's high on that run. I was starving the whole way around.
Runner's low.
Yeah, runner's low. And then we had the social run that evening, which was brilliant, absolutely great. And then we went up to my sister's house for a bit of tea and birthday cake for her little boy, Lenny, who is 6 months. I'm not sure whether...
I remember when Lenny was born. I remember you talking about when Lenny was born. That's wild.
I was laughing because I was like, you can just tell this is your first child, because I don't think children after your first would have a 6-month birthday. No. But anyways, listen, it was nice to get together and have a little cup of tea. And it was nice. So that was an evening after the social run. Usually we swim on a Wednesday night, but with Lenny's 6-month birthday, so there was no swim. Thursday, I actually did... Cheapers, I actually done a fair bit of training yesterday. So yesterday morning, I jumped in the treadmill for 45 minutes. I did a little progression. So I just kept the heart rate monitor on and just took my heart rate up to about threshold from I think my starting heart rate was like 98 beats per minute. So all the way up to about 150. Felt really good. And then I jumped in the pool and done a 35-minute swim. I just did 15 100-meter efforts and then 10 50-meter efforts, so 2,000 meters in total. I just tried to do them relaxed and focus on my technique. So not a hard session, very much a technique-based session, just trying to swim smooth and swim relaxed and focus on my stroke. So that was really nice on my own as well. You're not being pushed by others. You're just, just chilling. That was class. Felt great afterwards. And also, I've noted here that I practiced a few turns. So practiced a few of those flip turns where a few of them went really well and it felt great. And a few of them I flipped over and felt totally disorientated. And I was like, where am I in the pool here? So more practice needed. And then last night we had football training again. 1 hour on the pitch, didn't jog to it, just drove around. I'd done enough in the morning. So I just did the hour of football training. Weather has been brutal, by the way. I can't remember the last time we trained with the team and the weather was decent, but that was good crack. So that was it. And then this morning, back in the pool for a session, and I'll not do anything else today. I like to rest on a Friday sort of afternoon, evening, and just take it easy.
Nice way to end the week, mate. So body holding up well, still feeling good?
Body feels great. Yeah, body feels great. I took a few knocks last night and at football, and I was feeling it this morning. I was feeling pretty battered, and maybe that's part of the reason why the sleep wasn't great last night, but the swim felt great and the body feels better now. So that's always good. And even though this morning was a tough, more of a tough cardiovascular session in the pool, we did sprints and the heart rate was getting up, my body feels great. Whereas when you go into a really hard running session, cardiovascularly hard running session, your body tends to feel pretty beaten up after. So that's a big bonus. So that's the week. Rattle through it.
Lovely. All right. My turn. So I had a relatively big week as well. Like I always start on a Saturday. I've got about an hour and a half before I have to get my 2.5-year-old up. So I did, because Friday is always that VO2 max session. It's always in the afternoon. Saturday morning early, I just basically get on for 90 minutes of zone 2. So that's kind of low wattage, talking like whatever it is, whatever that course is. I just kind of try and keep my heart rate no higher, absolutely no higher than 130, but normally ends up between like 110 and 125. That's kind of fine. Did the same on Sunday, but then so at the moment I've got two kind of rehab runs to do a week. So I'm basically just reintroducing a little bit of running just to help me maintain something, and that won't be progressed too much. But I felt really good coming off the bike, and I was like, I said to the missus, do you mind if I head out for just 20 minutes just to get the rehab session done now so I don't have to break up the day? And I felt actually really good on that run. It was just kind of like 4 or 5 sets of 800 meters. And I felt better than I did the previous week where I split it up by probably 6-7 hours. Actually felt better just to condense it and do basically a big kind of 1.5 to 2 hour block of training. So that was Sunday. That felt good. Monday is now my day off of any kind of cardio, so to speak. And I do a full body resistance session. Sometimes I break it up in two. So I do my legs, train legs in the morning, and then I'll either do upper body if I've got time in the morning as well, or I'll just leave that till the afternoon. Broke it up, felt really good. Like that's kind of a rest day for me because it's like I try and eat a fair bit, just focus on recovery. That was lovely. Tuesday I always play it by feel and what's on Strava. Like sometimes I'll do a race or some kind of group ride, or for the most part I'll just do a sweet spot session. So kind of longer, almost like threshold intervals. So I think I did 2 by 20 minutes at about 85% of sweet spot, and they're tough sessions. Like it's not like running where you're kind of just it's all cardio. Like when you're cycling, it is a lot more on the legs, so your legs start to fatigue as much as your heart rate. So my heart rate didn't get too high, but I could feel my legs working, especially after training the previous day. But I got through it, and I think I was on the bike for about 1:40 in total, because I always include some zone 2 as well, warming up, cooling down and whatnot. Wednesday, 90-minute zone 2 in the morning. Actually felt really good, which is a good sign. I think I slept well that night, which is always nice. Thursday, dreadful sleep Wednesday night, like dreadful. So Thursday, I did not feel too hot. So I ended up doing some resistance training in the morning. Again, it was full body. So trying to keep my legs strong, trying to keep some muscle mass, and then upper body it is what it is. And then in the afternoon, I basically did the second of my rehab runs. So I did 5 by 1K. It's the longest run I've done. Didn't feel particularly great, I'll be honest with you. And I'm tempted not to add any more running because clearly it's not getting better. And it's just, I'd just be adding more volume for the sake of volume. And I don't really need to do that. But then I kind of finished off on the elliptical because I just wanted to do a little bit more, had the time. Elliptical was absolutely shocking. That's horrible. It's been a while since I've been on a cross trainer. That was not fun. I kind of wish I had my bike, I'll be honest with you.
What did you do on the elliptical? Sorry,
I literally just cruised for half an hour. Had some YouTube up, watched some videos. It's dire. I don't know how I was doing that before when I was like in marathon training. It's like not good.
It's a bit grim.
I would use the bike at work, but I've had some issues with saddle sores, and I was like, I need to give my bum a bit of a rest. So I was like, I'm not going to get on the bike today at all. I'm going to do as much running as I can, and I'll elliptical until I get bored. And it was about half an hour. And then today, I think I had a good sleep. I think that honestly being on the elliptical probably did me some favors because then I was pretty raring to go. I had a little bit of DOMS in my legs, but I was like, I'll see how the VO2 max session feels, and I did dial it back from what was prescribed, in terms of it was meant to go up to I think 115 or 120% of my FTP, for basically 30. It's the same session I did last week, so it's basically 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, times 10 times 3. So in all totality, it's like 30 minutes of VO2 max intervals, and I dialed it back after the first few intervals. I was like, my legs aren't going to make this; they're too sore. But then dialed it back by 5 watts, and it felt grand. I just did some some zone 2. to finish, and yeah, feel remarkably good. Had a really good feed today as well. I was like, we had some wraps left over, and I was just like eating everything, and I feel fueled properly. One of those times where you're like, I'm a cyclist, I can just eat what I want. I've just trained for basically.
That's me on a daily basis, mate.
Yeah,
just
bro.
Eat everything in sight and finish everyone else's meals.
Yes, well, that's exactly what happened, because the little one didn't eat his wraps, so I was like, well, I gotta eat it, because if I don't eat it now, I'll eat it tomorrow, and I want to eat it now. So I'm feeling pretty full still, to be honest with you. But that was really nice. And then, like I said, I'll probably do some same schedule for this weekend, and hopefully next weekend it'll be out onto the road for something a bit more interesting, and I'll try and get some footage of that. I think that'll be really fun, just taking the action cam out on me and doing a bit of documenting. But yeah, really happy with how training is going, how fitness is going, and yeah, very much looking forward to
many hours in the last week.
Don't know, mate. Haven't tell it. It'd probably be the same as the week before. It wouldn't be.
You're doing well, mate. Though
more or less,
you're bloody doing well. Like full-time job, newborn, 2 kids, and smashing some training at the same time to keep everything ticking over. Fair play.
What I'd say to everyone as well, I'm going to be responsible and say the only reason I'm able to do this, firstly, is because I work at a gym, and I can be flexible with my schedule. I have a very good indoor trainer, and I have a very supportive partner who is.
I was going to say, make sure she gets a shout there.
I definitely would not be able to do any of this with her. So don't think just because you see me do a ton of hours, you can do a ton of hours. It's I'm in a very fortunate position, and I don't have a social life. So that's that. But yeah, guys, look, honestly, I think that's probably
good on you, mate.
That's probably a good place to finish, mate. Any plans for the weekend, Adam?
No, not really. I think we're going to have a pretty chilled one. Grab some boojum tonight, which is our Mexican spot that we like to go to on a Friday sometimes. So yeah, we're going to go there this evening and eat everything in sight. Hopefully we have a game tomorrow. Yeah, I'd love to play a game tomorrow, you know, when you're just in the mood, and it's been cancelled. Yeah, but apart from that, pretty chill. What about you?
Beautiful. Yeah, nothing apart from seeing my mate Brad about some bikes. We're going to talk shop for a couple of hours. I can't wait. I literally just want to go and chat about bikes and cycling for a little bit. I'll probably bring the kids with us. I think they're pretty good with kids, so just make an afternoon of it. And then yeah, not much else. So
nice one.
That'll be me. And yeah, guys, well, I think that's a good place to wrap up our episode 40. Our 40th birthday is coming to an end, and thank you guys for sticking with us for this long. Honestly, I've said this a few times, but I look back on the analytics, and it's great to see that, like, even though we had a bit of a hiatus, like there's still people who've just kind of continued to grow, and people are still watching and listening, and it means the world to us. So thank you very much. We would love, I'm going to do that clickbait thing, but if you have any thoughts on any of the points we've raised in this about runfluencers or anything like that, you should let us know, because it helps the algorithm, and we love that. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Looking forward to chatting soon. Adam, have you got something to say before we?
Well done. I was just about to say, yeah, I've got a few ideas for things that we may be able to chat about over the coming weeks, about kind of the marathon and approaching your races, and yeah, the kind of the psychological as well as the physiological. So yeah, I actually had a couple of them written down today, but we went down a slightly different track today. So those are going to come in the next few weeks.
We'll keep them. There you go. That's your clickbait for next week. If you want to hear about some marathon tips, tune in for episode 41. Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys very soon.